held from February 11th to 14th and spread across over 1 lakh square meters of area at the Yashobhoomi Convention Center in New Delhi. The India Energy Week 2025 was one of the largest global events for the energy sector. This premier event, under the patronage of the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, convened global energy leaders to address pressing challenges and drive actionable solutions for a sustainable future. With participation from over 120 countries, the event featured nearly 100 strategic sessions and technical conferences, establishing its global significance. The event was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, who emphasized India's commitment to a sustainable energy future.
इंडिया एनर्जी वीक में देश और दुनिया भर से यहां यशोभूमि में जुटे सभी साथियों को नमस्कार। आप सभी सिर्फ एनर्जी वीक का हिस्सा भर नहीं है, आप भारत की एनर्जी एम्बिशंस का महत्वपूर्ण हिस्सा है। मैं आप सभी का अभिनंदन करता हूं। विदेश से जो मेहमान आए हैं, मैं उनका भारत में स्वागत करता हूं। साथियों, दुनिया का हर एक्सपर्ट आज कह रहा है कि 21st सेंचुरी भारत की सेंचुरी है। भारत अपनी ही नहीं, दुनिया की ग्रोथ को भी ड्राइव कर रहा है और इसमें हमारे एनर्जी सेक्टर की बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है। भारत की एनर्जी एम्बिशंस 5 पिलर्स पर खड़ी है। हमारे पास रिसोर्सेज हैं जिनको हम हार्नेस कर रहे हैं। दूसरा, हम अपने ब्रिलियंट माइंड्स को इनोवेट करने के लिए प्रोत्साहित कर रहे हैं। तीसरा, हमारे पास इकोनॉमिक स्ट्रेंथ है, पॉलिटिकल स्टेबिलिटी है। चौथा, भारत के पास स्ट्रेटेजिक ज्योग्राफी है जो एनर्जी ट्रेड को ज्यादा आकर्षक और आसान बनाती है। और पांचवा, भारत ग्लोबल सस्टेनेबिलिटी के लिए कमिटेड है। इससे भारत के एनर्जी सेक्टर में नई संभावनाएं तैयार हो रही हैं। साथियों, विकसित भारत के लिए अगले 2 दशक बहुत अहम है और इसमें आने वाले 5 साल में हम अनेक बड़े पड़ाव पार करने वाले हैं। हमारे बहुत सारे एनर्जी गोल्स 2030 की डेडलाइन के हिसाब से अलाइन किए गए हैं। साल 2030 तक हम 500 गीगावाट रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी कैपेसिटी ऐड करना चाहते हैं। साल 2030 तक भारतीय रेलवे ने नेट जीरो कार्बन एमिशन का टारगेट रखा है। साल 2030 तक हम हर साल 5 मिलियन मैट्रिक टन ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन कर सके, ये हमारा लक्ष्य है। हमारे ये टारगेट्स काफी एम्बिशियस लग सकते हैं, लेकिन बीते 10 साल में जो भारत ने हासिल किया है, उससे ये विश्वास पैदा हुआ है कि ये टारगेट भी हम जरूर हासिल कर लेंगे। फ्रेंड्स, बीते 10 साल में भारत 10th लार्जेस्ट से 5th लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी बना है। बीते 10 वर्षों में हमने अपनी सोलर एनर्जी जनरेशन कैपेसिटी को 32 टाइम्स बढ़ाया है। आज भारत दुनिया का तीसरा सबसे बड़ा सोलर पावर जनरेटिंग नेशन है। हमारी नॉन फोसिल फ्यूल एनर्जी कैपेसिटी 3 गुना बढ़ी है। भारत G20 देशों में पेरिस समझौते के लक्ष्यों को पूरा करने वाला पहला देश है। साथियों, भारत में कई डिस्कवरीज और बढ़ते पाइपलाइन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के कारण नेचुरल गैस की सप्लाई बढ़ रही है और इसी कारण आने वाले समय में नेचुरल गैस का उपयोग भी बढ़ने वाला है। इन सारे क्षेत्रों में आपके लिए निवेश की बहुत सारी संभावनाएं बन रही हैं। साथियों, आज भारत का बहुत बड़ा फोकस मेक इन इंडिया पर है, लोकल सप्लाई चेन पर है। भारत में पीवी मॉड्यूल सहित अनेक प्रकार के हार्डवेयर की मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए भी बहुत संभावनाएं हैं। भारत बहुत तेज गति से इलेक्ट्रिक मोबिलिटी की तरफ बढ़ रहा है। इतने बड़े देश की डिमांड पूरा करने के लिए बैटरीज और स्टोरेज कैपेसिटी के क्षेत्र में हमें बहुत तेजी से काम करना है। साथियों, भारत ऐसे एनर्जी सॉल्यूशंस देने के लिए कमिटेड है जो हमारी ग्रोथ को एनर्जाइज करें और हमारे नेचर को भी एनरिच करें। मुझे विश्वास है इस एनर्जी वीक से भी इस दिशा में कुछ ठोस रास्ते निकलेंगे। मुझे उम्मीद है कि आप सभी भारत में बन रही हर संभावना को एक्सप्लोर करेंगे। आप सभी को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। धन्यवाद।
The week featured insightful sessions on topics ranging from green hydrogen to grid upgrades, with experts highlighting the role of innovation and policy support in accelerating India's clean energy transition.
This third edition of the India Energy Week comes at a significant time amongst today's global uncertainty, and I would say it also comes at an opportune time. I don't think anyone here would disagree with me when I say that the last few years, encapsulated in the whirlwind events of 2024, have left the global energy order in transition. These include major geopolitical shifts. It is in this context that I believe that the India Energy Week provides a unique platform for all of us in the industry to reflect and introspect, to catch up with each other, not just formally as business-to-business transactions are undertaken, but also informally for policymakers and stakeholders to understand what other nations are thinking of and what we can do together. We have here a representation that captures both the urgency of the moment and the excitement of the unfolding India story. The India Energy Week has emerged to become, if I may be allowed to say, the second largest energy event in only its third year. More than 70,000 energy professionals from over 50 countries will be participating in this event. I am pleased that the event will see participation from more than 20 energy and other ministers, including their deputies, from important stakeholders such as Qatar, UK, Russia, Brazil, Tanzania and Venezuela, to name only a few. Equally, the private sector and the global advisory and regulatory architecture are well represented. I welcome members and executives of international organizations such as OPEC, and I see my brother, the Secretary General here, IEF and IEA, as well as nearly 100 CEOs from Fortune 500 energy companies such as Honeywell, Petrobras, Technip Energies, ADNOC, Baker Hughes, Vitol, and many more. The fact that this is the first time this year that senior representatives from across the global energy sector will exchange notes is crucial. That is the true value of this week. It enables us to listen and learn from one another, to think together of the mega trends that will shape the future. It is our hope that the India Energy Week provides the much needed network effects which can foster constructive dialogue. But this platform, ladies and gentlemen, is not just a strategic conference. Beyond industry and technology, IEW is also about youth and innovation. More than 500 entrepreneurs are participating in startup challenges like Avinya and Vasudha, thus nurturing the next generation of energy disruptors. It is also an exhibition forum where cutting-edge innovations will be showcased by more than 700 exhibiting companies, more than 100 of which are exciting startups. I am overwhelmed to see the scale, depth and size of innovation, particularly in deep tech in the energy sector, such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, quantum computing, big data, drones and robotics. In many ways, harnessing the burgeoning innovation ecosystem, most notably in India, was a primary factor behind the inception of the first edition of the India Energy Week in 2023. Major oil and gas companies such as BP, Shell, Exxon, Chevron, McDermott have their global capability centers in India, where lakhs of a lakh being 100,000, Indian engineers are doing cutting-edge design, engineering, data processing and decision analytics for drilling operations, refinery operations and seismic data processing globally. The aim was and remains to establish India as the epicenter for new age technologies in this sector. The challenge is not technology but scaling access equitably. India has achieved 100% clean cooking access through the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, city gas expansion and solar cooking pilots proving that policy-driven solutions can transform lives. The answer to energy transition lies in strategic investments across hydrocarbons and renewables. The future lies in smart capital reallocation, for instance, deploying wind and solar where intermittency is manageable, biofuels where liquid fuel demand persists, and gas where firm power is essential. That is how we assure both affordability and decarbonization. India presents a compelling and diversified investment landscape. 7.6 billion tons of discovered upstream resources, 500 million tons of biofuel foods feedstock, and rising energy demand. At the same time, it is scaling renewables, targeting 5 million metric tons of hydrogen by 2030, $96 billion in hydrogen investments, and a gas share increase from 6 to 15% alongside a $30 billion in refining and petrochemical expansion. Third, resilient supply chains for an orderly transition. Supply disruptions, whether in lithium for storage, nickel for EVs, or semiconductors for AI-driven grids, must not create winners and losers in the transition. Without intervention, the growing gap in energy technology access could leave developing economies locked out of the transition. Governments and industries must act decisively to prevent disorderly shifts. Policy cannot remain while the world accelerates. Governments must craft frameworks that incentivize bold innovation, de-risk essential investment, and ensure commitments beyond the short term. Success will be measured, I submit, not by how fast the wealthiest decarbonize, but how inclusively the world transforms. It is our fervent hope that this third edition of India Energy Week becomes the definitive platform for shaping the energy agenda of the future. This is where transformative partnerships will hopefully take place and take shape, where game-changing technologies are unveiled and the future of energy is written. I urge the 6,000 delegates present here to engage meaningfully in the strategic conference sessions planned for the next 4 days and help chart a roadmap to stabilize energy markets and strengthen international cooperation. Thank you very much.
The event saw many landmark moments for India, the beginning of which was the hydrogen bus ride which the Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Hardeep Singh Puri, along with foreign energy ministers, embarked on, symbolizing India's rapid strides in sustainable and green mobility. This initiative is a testament to the country's efforts and leadership in hydrogen innovation and its commitment to decarbonization. Furthering this commitment and adding more feathers to it are the deals signed by industry leaders, strengthening India's global and domestic energy partnerships. Leading the charge in this aspect was Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited, who signed term contract with Petrobras Brazil to diversify crude oil imports. Partnered with EcoWave Power Israel to establish the nation's first wave energy pilot project in Mumbai. Signed a deal with Equinor India Private Limited for the procurement of LPG, propane and butane, further expanding the hydrocarbon trade and much more.
As a major oil and gas player in India, we are very focused and responsible about the net zero initiatives which the Government of India has announced, and we also want to align all our efforts along with the Government of India initiative. So for example, India's stated goal is that by 2070 we will be net zero. BPCL has taken their own commitments that by 2040 Scope 1 and Scope 2 we will be completing net zero activities. So that is our plan as of now, and we find that in IEW will be a very pivotal platform for innovation and collaboration, and that will give us a lot of focus and a lot of help to understand what the technologies are and what the initiatives are, and it also gives us an opportunity to showcase our skills. The last IEW we had showcased a very indigenously built electrolyzer, which was built in collaboration with BARC. So we have made baby steps there. That is the main component for a green hydrogen evolution. Now we are setting up a retail outlet at Kochi, which is just adjacent to the airport, which will have this electrolyzer, and it will fuel hydrogen vehicles. And we, as BPCL, we have committed to a 5-year strategy called the Project Aspire, where we have worked towards what India will be around 2047. We believe strongly that in 2047, India will be a developed economy, and for that, India's primary energy demand will multiply up to 3 or 4 times. And so that is where we are geared up to do it. This Project Aspire strategy will gear up BPCL to be ready for those times. And we believe strongly that we will contribute 7 to 10% of India's energy demand will come from BPCL.
The event concluded with reflections on the discussions held and a renewed commitment to collaborative efforts in the energy sector.
Indeed, India has done very well in the last decade with the great improvement. There are 2 or 3 factors that I could mention. First of all is being very clear on the ambition, what the country want to do. Then having clear roadmaps and plans to achieve those ambitions. And thirdly is removing the roadblocks, the barriers, like how you accelerate the permitting processes to deploy energy solution. So these are the 3 key elements that we have seen in India in the last decade or so. There are 2 or 3 factors that I could mention. First of all is being very clear on the ambition, what the country want to do. Then having clear roadmaps and plans to achieve those ambitions. And thirdly is removing the roadblocks, the barriers, like how you accelerate the permitting processes to deploy energy solution. A lot of investment are flowing, a lot of renewable deployment is happening, and so this is a good news. But of course there are still challenges. India is a big demand center for energy because of the growing population and the growing level of economic level for the countries. So this is good news, but there will be more energy demand. And to keep supplying this demand, we'll need to keep growing faster and faster. And that's the challenge. Energy transition is happening, but to keep the momentum is challenging. Now, again, India has a fantastic ambition. It's very clear ambition. I arguably think that India can even beat its ambitions because what we have seen in the past and with the good policy that are put in place. So if you look at macroeconomic level, you really need a lot of investment to be put in the energy transition. And for this to happen, you really need to make sure that there is a business and an economic case, as we call it. And I think India has demonstrated in the past that this was possible. And now there is a gain to do this. And I would say one other thing that needs to be added and further improved is the creation of jobs. So green jobs is also an opportunity. Efficiency jobs are also an opportunity. Opportunity to also decarbonize the current energy system. So if we look at energy as an opportunity for growth, this is what will make India succeed even further.
To better promote innovations within the industry and participation from young minds, the closing ceremony of the event also saw felicitation of winners and runners-up of the Avinya, Vasudha and Hackathon challenges. acknowledging their contributions to energy, sustainability and innovation.
The Prime Minister's it's a commitment, Sankalp, India to be a developed country by 2047. I think the link between economic activity and energy use is a very well-proven equation. So we will need more and more energy as we go from a 4 to a 7 to a $10 trillion economy and beyond. We'll need more energy. I think there's a lot of business opportunity in that. There's a tremendous commitment for green transition in that. But I think the fact that you have present here today on the concluding session, friends from Italy, from the UK, from Brazil, from the Middle East, from the United States, shows that that part is acknowledged. And I think this is not just, as the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister says, make in India. India is making also for the world. There's a fair amount of give and take between us and the industrialized West on energy. I mean, what was signed yesterday on some of those deals is not just money, but it also affects the global market.
The road ahead is clear. India's energy transformation is in full swing. And with continued global partnerships and cutting-edge innovation, the country is well on track to achieve its ambitious energy goals.